worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to the worst idea of all time, episode number 50. With myself, Tim Batt, 1.
Guy Montgomery, 2.
And
On the 52nd episode of the podcast. This is the last time we will discuss Sex and the City 2 in private.
I would like to introduce you to the concept of the podcast, and it is thus. Guy Montgomery and myself have been watching Sex and the City 2 for the last calendar year.
If you're starting here, it's cheating.
Yeah, it is. You back up. Back up, donkey.
Go back in time, you donkey. You fucking donkey with opposable thumbs and a smartphone.
If it sounds echoey, that's because we're coming to you live from New York City, but you probably knew that from a mini episode we haven't recorded yet, but we'll record immediately after this and then release before this episode, so you've already heard it.
It's like the pre-tape call-in show sketch from Mr. Show.
Yes, it is. That's a bloody good, it's a good gas, that one. And the echoey nature corresponds with the environ that we're currently recording in, a beautiful Airbnb that doesn't have any hidden cameras in it that we know about yet, and it's all here. There's a bathroom, there's a toilet in it, there is a fridge freezer to keep perishables cool and crisp, and there's even a radiator spewing heat at us from the corner of the lounge.
Relentlessly.
It's crazy. When we first walked in, it was like, uh-oh, the apartment's on fire.
It's just the radiator.
Just the radiator.
It's 2 surfboards. Both decorative. Cool guy.
Very cool guy.
I would give this guy, it's not booked through my Airbnb, 5 stars.
Fuck, that's a lot.
Exactly as advertised.
That is a whole lot. Guy.
Tim.
The movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't into it this week. And I hope and pray that we find one that, really just fucking nails it. You know what I mean? Like one of these watches, one of these takes.
Before we dive into the movie tip, this is obviously we're at the home stretch, to say the least.
Yeah.
If we were marathon runners, we'd be turning into the stadium now.
Turning into... Oh, right. I thought you meant like transforming into a stadium.
Yeah.
How incredible would that be if that's what happened when you went marathon running?
If you think that you're turning into a stadium,
I'm a stadium now. That's how well I've been running. I've transformed into a big arena.
I don't think that's a goal for marathon runners. I don't think they hope to transform into like large facilities that host sports events.
And that's why I love you, guy. You're ambitious. You think bigger than the average cat.
No. In this circumstance, you're the ambitious one with dreams of becoming a stadium.
I think you planted this seed.
No. You just misinterpreted what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Tim, is that we've run 41 kilometers. Okay? We've watched Sex and the City 2.
How many kilometers is it?
51 times. 42.
42, okay.
And accordingly, what is your mood? Is it one of jubilant excitement that the race is almost over?
Yeah.
Or are you still in the trenches like, I've just got to get over the line?
I'm digging through, but it's like you feel the pain of what you've done.
Is it a good pain?
It is right now, yeah. Because I know it's kind of like... sort of like stigmata, There's like a religious martyrism about it, where it's like, I bear these wounds and this pain for a particular reason, and it is to relinquish myself and others of their sin.
That's how you see this.
That's just the kind of pain. That's what I feel. That's the kind of pain I'm experiencing.
You okay, could you please articulate to me why you are doing this?
I still don't know. I can't answer that question.
Is there a higher calling?
Yes.
This is religious.
No.
No.
When you say higher, I thought you just meant, just like broader, just wider.
A hired calling.
There's not a hired calling.
Yeah,
no one's asked, as you well know, no one has asked us to do this. The calling is internal, and it is inner, and it is strong.
So yeah. Oh, that's good.
Comes from within.
Hey, you're in a good spot, and I like that.
Yep. And then the last watch will be in front. It'll be just before we do the show.
That is
finally
correct.
the time. And that's a really thrilling prospect that we can close the book on this chapter of our lives and move forward. Onward is the march.
That's going to be the most emphatic book closing of all time.
It's like when you get a big dictionary and you open it in the middle and you slam it shut when you're a little kid, just for that satisfying thump.
For that thump.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think we're in a similar spot. I mean, I can say for a fact we are. I'm about 30 centimeters from you on a couch right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the movie's no good. It was sort of like knowing that I'm about to be released from its depths. This might be like the last day in prison, where it's almost nostalgic. You reflect on your time, you think about what you did to put you there, and you're like, well, never again. I can't wait to get out of here. But in a weird way, there are aspects of it I'll miss.
I know.
The
I had
pork
moments of
riblets on
that.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm speaking as...
Obviously, you're in the metaphor, not... Yeah. But I hear you, bro. I'm with you on that. There were bits in the movie where I was just like, yeah, how did... It was like, I'm gonna miss some of you guys.
Who are you going to miss?
I'm gonna miss Coffee Guy. You know.
We saw
There's no getting around that.
his resting place today.
Guys, we had a huge thing happen to us today, which I'm going to assume we'll get into more in the mini episode. So we've already talked about it from your perspective. But this Sex and the City tour that we went on with Elise, holy shit, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a good tour. It really tired me out, though. I got so sleepy on that bus.
Absolutely. It's 3.5 hours long. But as Tim said, you've already heard about it if you so chose to listen to the Friend Zone episode 3. If you did not, just take our word for it. We did it.
Uh-oh, our girlfriends are here.
That's good.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm going to have to put the thingy down for a sec.
You're going to let them in? Yeah, I can pad for time.
All right.
Although you won't hear what I'm saying, and I would love your feedback on it, but that's okay. I'll just forge ahead with reckless abandon.
So many cables. Oh, God.
Jesus. Deep cut fans of the podcast will know that there's a man early on at Bergdorf Goodman talking into a phone who each week, I believe, is checking in with some higher up, some superior to say, good news, sir, I've seen them. Tim and Guy are back for another helping. And for a very long time, that's been the extent of the theory I have. However, this week, just by I think because I don't want to lose the opportunity to make more connections and see what's happening, I was observing other people who use telephones in the film, but with a little bit more like intensity. And so they're people who are on the phone, not necessarily for the sake of the movie. They're just background actors whose task or motivation that they've chosen or has been given to them by Mattress Pikelet King is they're on the phone. And there were two people, namely one on the red carpet in a suit in the background of shot who's talking on the phone, probably at the 45-minute mark, reporting to his superior, who's presumably the same one. There is an intricate conspiracy theory at play here that, yes, they are still watching the film, things are going great. And then once more, I say, a woman clad in white clothing at the hotel as soon as the girls arrive in Abu Dhabi doing the exact same thing. 3 different people, the same boss, all reporting on the facts, saying the same thing.
Truly the ramblings of a madman. It's such a meta, conclusion to draw from what you're saying. You're getting some clues on a screen and you've got some interdimensional vibe that you're tapping into.
What do you think about it? If anyone could relate to the theory, it would be you.
Dude, you know that I love my insane conspiracy theories, and you know that we have connected some dots which don't necessarily have the shortest path between them on this season. But that particular note that you've hit, that you've talked about before, is fucking bonkers. It's crazy, and it terrifies and impresses me that it came out of your head.
You don't believe that there are people in the film, acting in the film, reporting on us watching the film to Mattress Pikelet King?
That is not my interpretation of what's going on. I do love it, though.
You don't believe that Mattress Pikelet King has hired transcendental, time-traveling, intergalactic extras to...
I'm not saying that's not happening, but it's not a conclusion that I have drawn myself.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
That is what I'm saying, absolutely. But you believe this in your heart of hearts, and sometimes in life, and scientists won't tell you this, sometimes feeling is enough. Sometimes emotion is proof. Sometimes instead of listening to logic and reason and evidence, you just have to look within yourself for the real truth.
Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. Listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye.
Deep. The thing that we've glossed over so far is the fact that we're in New York City, which is quite a big deal for us.
Yeah, it's a very exciting place to be.
It's the Big Apple. We're here. I saw the big library where Ghostbusters was filmed, and also some bits from the Sex and the City series, which we learned during the tour.
That we've already talked about.
Yeah.
And are therefore not speaking about presently. If you'd
Very
stop bringing it up for once in your life,
Sorry.
Deanne.
I apologize. Oh, yeah, we're going to... So, off the back of the incredible script read of Grown Ups 2 that we did in LA, you know what would be funny? If we just keep saying every thought we started, we just said, oh, we've talked about that in the mini, and then we just don't record one. So this is just like 40 minutes or so of
nothing.
Just half sentences of the beginnings of thoughts, but not the ends.
Beckett produced this podcast.
Nice. Waiting for Sandler. Wait, is that what you were thinking?
Waiting for conversation.
We got into an interesting rhythm because we've had to revisit the Grown Ups 2 universe because we had to like re-edit that script where we've married the two. The DNA is coming together. We're splicing the two movies together. So there are certain beats that the movie hits where we just like chuck a Grown Ups 2 line in there.
That's right. What we watched today was 90% Sex and the City 2, 10% Grown Ups 2.
And I tell you what, better than the sum of its parts.
Absolutely. I think we've speculated before. If you brought the two together, I think they'd both benefit from it. The characters could counterbalance each other.
It's like those weird relationships where you think that both people are punching above their division.
If you put them together, we could actually walk up to Whitecliff Jean and say, hey, Whitecliff Jean, check this out. Two wrongs can make a right. And then moonwalk out of there. And Whitecliff Jean will be like, I don't know who those people are. I don't know what they've made.
But my God, that's a good moonwalk for a white boy.
That's exactly what he'd say.
I can't believe you're attributing two wrongs that make a right solely to Whitecliff Jean.
That's where the proverb started.
I challenge that.
Okay. Present your evidence.
I got
Who
nothing.
do you attribute the quote to?
I got nothing. And therefore you win. And therefore Whitecliff Jean did start that proverb.
I want to tell you about a beacon of light sent down from God himself on high to me, Guy Montgomery, during my 51st watch of Sex and the City 2.
Let me hear it.
Movie premiere. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of people saying Heart of the Desert. This one is in the running at the 84th Annual Academy Awards.
Yes. Smith Garrett, breakout role.
Absolutely. The four friends of ours, Big, Carrie, Stanford, and Anthony, on the red carpet wearing their pathetic VIP bands. They're silver. You can buy them anywhere.
They're those holographic-y kind of ones, like sparkly.
They show them to the security guard, who's very skeptical that any of these people have any business being at the premiere. And Anthony's acting is exceptional. He's given very little to do, and he does it very well. He doesn't even make eye contact. He's so insulted by the notion that he doesn't belong on the red carpet and is a VIP member of this film premiere. He looks not through, but just past. He's just like, of course.
Now, from memory of my 51 watches of this film, Anthony doesn't get a line because it's Stanford who says, we're VIP, see, and then like dangles his wrist in the air with the band on it.
Stanford says that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're complimenting Anthony, who doesn't even get a line in that bit, right?
That's right.
That's the best kind of acting. That's the hardest bit to nail.
They say
silent acting.
Acting is reacting. I think Wycliffe Jean said that.
Really?
Yeah, he said it. He was talking about a movie in the recording booth with the other Fugees, and he said, well, the thing with acting is it's reacting. And then
Lauren Hill said, yes.
Yeah. And then there was some like drama scribe who stole the thought, who was working as an audio producer at the time, but his real passion was writing books about theory and acting.
Little goblin man who hangs out below theatres, just scribbling ideas down that come out during rehearsal, treading the boards, under the boards, treading water under the boards. A little goblin
man in the sewers scrawling down ideas. Sounds like some weird fusion between Brady and Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Like they had a sperm blend in the jacuzzi.
Oh God, that's not how that works. What if it's a combination of bloodlines down the track?
Yeah, that's possible. But has Mr. Big maybe not found in the jacuzzi the temperature at which you can actually fuse DNA?
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a melting point of a substance. This is a bit where sperm can
Becomes
molecularly-
malleable
on a like atomic scale,
on a molecular level.
on a DNA level,
Yeah.
and it just starts riffing and scatting between itself and grabbing a bit of this and chucking it in there, and
Yeah.
I like that. What? Yeah. See, that reminds me of like the mystical brown note in music, that there is a note that you can hit
That makes people shit
that
themselves.
makes people lose their bowels. Yeah. It's like a great urban legend. And I like this as well, that there is a temperature out there that if you can get it within this fraction of a window, sperm will start combining with other sperm.
It's exciting. These are exciting times to be alive. Science is doing stuff now that people 100 years ago, 10 years ago even, wouldn't have thought possible.
This is what Kurzweil was talking about.
This is exactly what he was talking about.
Is that how you say his name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a big thinker. I want to tell you my shining light real quick because I'm going to forget it otherwise. In the boardroom where we meet Tom, who is a pig, who I love. The guy who they try to give the case to, who I always figured was like a junior partner, and you said, no, he's not. And I was like adamant that he was. But there is no proof to support my assertion that he's a junior member of that firm. I think his name's Kevin, and you would think that I would know that by now. I'm going to say Kevin. Kevin gets given the case, and then he says, it's Miranda's case. It's the only line that he gets in the whole film. It's the only time we see him. And fuck, he's good. He was underutilized in this film.
You could say that about a lot of people. You could say that the...
Well, actually, I could only say that about Kevin and Baydoun. We love Baydoun. He's a talent.
what about Captain Red Shorts?
Captain Red Shorts
Could use a lot more of him.
Yeah, well, I think that's more for us though. Like, we don't know that he's a great actor.
I know for a fact I've watched him 2 weeks in a row and been spellbound. The guy has got chops. What I'm saying is if they'd have divvied up the workload better,
Yeah.
maybe said to SJP
Yeah.
and Cynthia
Yeah.
and Kristen and Samantha, hey, we respect that the reason this exists is because of the phenomenal work you've done across the television series in the first movie.
First AD, Bernie Sanders,
But,
taking one of the units, going, I want
the top 1% of actors to
exactly.
do. And
I don't want 90% of the votes going to the
even
top 1%.
more
of
powerful than
actors.
that, Mattress Pikelet King's been reading a lot about communism.
Yeah.
And he's sort of trying to instill it across the sets on which he works.
Right.
So he refuses to buy into the concept of a leading actor and supporting actors. All actors are made equal, none more equal than others. Captain Red Shorts, you get exactly the same amount of screen time as SJP.
Yeah, I like that. And then everyone's on an even footing to shine on through.
Obviously,
you know
there's-
who would shine the most this week? Kevin. My God, if he had more screen time,
You should look him up.
forget about it.
You could
Yeah,
go
I
hang
should.
out with Kevin in a different movie.
Maybe I should. Maybe he lives here in New York City, you know? That's the beautiful thing about being in here. We don't know who's around.
No, we
Don't know
don't.
who we'll run into.
Have you seen a celeb?
No. Didn't someone say Willem Dafoe was kicking about in the East Village when we went through on the tour today? Or maybe they said that they saw him a different time. I don't know.
They described his teeth as chiclets, whoever it was.
Elise said that.
There
She
you
was
go.
gold. Tell her that we sent you if you go on that tour. Yeah. I haven't seen any other celebs. I didn't see Willem Dafoe either.
Don't feel bad about it.
How about you?
No. We were with you the whole time. It's a deep cut.
How are you feeling about grown-ups too at the moment? Like, where are you sitting with that?
It doesn't.
It's an interesting phenomenon because we put it to
I've
bed
moved-
and we've gone for 12 months and we really shut the door and walked out on that. And now we've got a little phone call from it going, hey, I know we broke up a long time ago, but do you want to go get a coffee sometime? And it's like, yeah, I think enough time's passed that we could probably, we can
We're on
sit
the level.
down.
We can have a coffee.
We're all adults here. And so we did recently. And I tell you what, man, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Our most recent coffee with grown-ups too, we had a lot
I think
of
you have a
fun.
lot of fun, but you also think, but there's a reason that we went our separate ways.
There's
It's like,
always a reason.
hey, it was really good to see you. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing well.
Yeah.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
probably not going to hang out again for a while.
Yeah.
Nothing against you. We had a good time. There's a reason we were together in the first place.
And it's like closure in a way. It's like, it's cool to see you. Good to see that you know, you've perked up a bit and you're doing okay. And now I really won't see you.
Grown-ups too walked away and was like, I am worried about Tim and Guy.
Yeah.
They are not good.
Because we have found ourselves another abusive relationship. You know, we're really just going from misguided partner to misguided partner. I just want to know what it feels like to be loved by a movie, Guy. I want to be held in its warm embrace. Tenderly. Gingerly.
Some people treat movies comfort food. They're like they're a warm blanket. Familiar friends. Company.
Not us, though.
No, this is an unwashed blanket. It's horrible.
Lice in it.
Yeah, it's
and tuberculosis.
Lice actually like cleanliness.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Doesn't make any sense to me. If I was a lice, I would like. Do you think lice know how we talk about them? Like they don't. They think that they're really well liked and clean and popular. They'd be devastated that we think they're filthy. They'd be like,
but we only hang out in the cleanest
but we
spots.
hang out in the cleanest spots. That is such an unfair reputation for us. How could humans think that? We only hang out in pristine areas.
It reminds me of, I can't remember what Roald Dahl book this is from. The Witches, maybe? About how you shouldn't wash if you're a kid. You shouldn't bathe because then the witches will smell you. If you're dirty, what they're smelling is like the dirt. Then it masks the scent. But if you clean yourself, then you smell of child and they'll find you and they'll get you.
Don't wash.
Don't wash, kids.
Hashtag don't wash.
Do not do it.
Well, he bit all the he dogs and he with all the she dogs and the two never knew such a hullabaloo. Ba-boo-da-boo, what's
Where's
he
he
wearing?
going? Why
Those
is he
are
in the
nice
Big Apple?
brogues.
That's the question. We ask it every week. We've still yet to get to the bottom of this one. Ye old coffee guy.
What could compel a man, a mortal man as far as we know, to inhale hot liquid Java as quickly as humanly possible, to burn 3 layers of skin from the inside of his mouth, and then bound out the cafe doors into the big, bad world?
You're not going to believe this, dude? Bruh? In the split second that we do not see Coffee Guy, in between his 3 massive gulps where he consumes 33% of a cup of coffee in each one,
33.3 recurring.
he has received a text message from one Party Schwarzenegger saying, "Hey, bruh, I've got a great business idea. One word, SATCy."
Holy shit.
He has been so struck with the beauty and the brilliance, and he's just in awe of this thing that he has to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. He gets his paper and he bails because he needs to get some transport to get over to Party Schwarzenegger's place. They need to find some napkins to write down some business plans because that's how you make $1 billion idea come to fruition.
What do you think would get coffee guys so excited by the prospect of a SATCy, which we tested, or Party Schwarzenegger tested on the open market, and the feedback was negative. Dangerous, unnecessary. These are some of the words we saw.
We are not the marketing visionaries that a Coffee Guy Party Schwarzenegger alliance would be. That is a powerful team. That's the kind of advertising tour de force that comes along once in a generation. The meeting of those two minds is unparalleled and without rival. It is peerless.
Some of you might not be familiar with the concept of a SATCy. It's pretty much a jet ski with 2 ultra-large machetes strapped onto the front.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's,
Yeah.
You hear it, you see the name written on the tin, you think, I know what's in that tin, and you're right. And they're fabulous ideas because they work.
How did Party Schwarzenegger get wind of Coffee Guy and his marketing nous?
I think great minds like that can't help but be drawn together. You know what I mean? It's like C.S. Lewis and Lewis Carroll hung out together because they were both literary giants alive at the same time. You know, if Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, and Einstein were alive in the same time, which they weren't, but if they were, they would have been buddies. You know,
So you're telling me they're on the level?
they're both on the level that no one else is on, and I call that level the plateau because no one's above them.
Makes a lot of sense. Coffee guy likes to party. Why do you think he's so hopped up the whole time? He's awake.
And Party Schwarzenegger loves it. It's in his name. It's the first bit.
That's right. It's the titular part of his name.
Machitskis are the most party way to travel. Like, there's nothing. Think of a mode of transport that says party louder than rocking up to somewhere on a body of water with huge knives protruding out the front.
Stainless steel knives.
Powerful fucking play.
Stainless steel knives. Haters. You're not going to get us there.
Take that.
These things don't rust.
No, they don't. Even in the corrosive ocean. God damn. Powerful team. Powerful duo.
I, for one, am terrified at the prospect of the Machetsky being put on the open market. I don't think humanity is ready.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and luckily for us, these two geniuses have gotten together, and we will find out soon enough. But, you know, the important bit is the guy's got a lot on at the moment, and he's off pursuing it.
As always, what a journey he's been on this year.
Yeah. In some ways, he's covered the most ground. He, like, in terms of the frequent flyer miles, that guy could probably afford to buy an island on his at this point
He's
in the
got
game.
gold. He's probably, I don't know. He's got platinum status.
I invented a status, and it's called coffee status. It goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, coffee.
Diamond above platinum, and coffee above all. That is tattooed across his back,
Yeah, those words.
scripture style.
That's what's up.
He's actually got on his back. He's got bronze status, and then a line through it. Silver status, then a line through it. Gold status, line through it. Platinum status, line through it. Diamond status, line through it. And then coffee status, no line through it, because he was previously drinking boiled down precious metals.
It's like guys in the army who get tattoos depending on how many kills they've had, like confirmed kills. It's that kind of thing. But he's chopping off status levels with this frequent flyer program.
On the podcast.
Yeah.
We are so far down the rabbit hole, bruh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's made all the more real by the fact that our girlfriends came home and they're just kind of hearing these bits and bobs. And tell you what, it gives you a little perspective on the insane conclusions that we draw.
It'll be weird listening. Yeah, Zoe's mouthing at us the word weird. So we qualify. Sophie? She's just in the room. She responded with a yeah.
Okay.
Hey, baby. How you going? That's good. Nothing. Just saying how you going.
The interesting thing is, despite the fact that Party Schwarzenegger has found Coffee Guy and they've formed a brutal alliance in the name of fun everywhere, Mr. Big is he's a solo act.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. As long as we're at the very bottom of the rabbit hole, we might as well pick up the book that's by our feet.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Leaf through some pages.
Flip through them.
You know, see what's been written down.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's a book. Good, okay. On that page. Okay, there's a naked woman and the picture of an atom. I'm not sure what that's about. We've got a cat and a cheese board.
Well, that I'm interested in, but also, by the looks of what's at the bottom of the page, is probably illegal to even talk about.
Okay. This one appears to be... Oh, hold on for a second. That's a zodiac, like all of the signs of the zodiac, and a lot of like math just scrawled over the top of it. So that's some like heebie-jeebie shit, you know?
I'm stopping here.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Big is the Zodiac Killer. Fact.
Holy shit.
Busted, bro.
That's a dark roast, brother.
Chris Noeth, you can't run away.
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
hide behind the church.
Well,
we
hold
know
on.
what's happening.
Hold on. Is Big the Zodiac Killer or is Chris Noah?
Look,
the
it's all
preacher turned actor?
it's all here, man. It's all one thing.
Damn, it's all bleeding in and folding in on itself. This is like what happens when the universe ends. It's like all the energy sort of this is what's that shit called? You know how the universe is expanding and then it stops and then it contracts on itself?
No, I don't.
Zoe, what's that thing called? That thing where the universe like retreats into itself? Entropy. That's it. This is entropy.
I don't know what entropy is. I don't really spend a lot of my time thinking about what the universe is doing.
It's all on the fucking page if you'd look at it.
Well, yeah, that's chicken scratch. You can't make out what's written down there.
It's like Matrix code. You got to kind of look
We
through it.
have stumbled into something much bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. That crime was up until right now unsolved.
Oh, shit. Can
Yeah.
we even release this?
I am not sure. I don't know what the legality around it is. The thing is, though, I mean, there's a lot of symbols and math on here. I don't know if I'm interpreting it 100% correctly, and if we're seeing that Mr. Big is the Zodiac Killer, or if he's found out who the Zodiac Killer is.
Actually, if you turn the whole book around and look at it the other way, it's just a really, really
Oh,
good
shit.
etching of Mark Ruffalo's face.
Oh, would you look at that? Do you think he's just done a sketch?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird that if you turn Mark Ruffalo's face around, you get a series of symbols that tell you that Big is the Zodiac Killer? Isn't that weird?
That is unlikely and almost definitely a sign of insanity.
Because you look at a movie like Avengers, right, and you see him, you see Banner, and you're like, there's something very watchable about you, and you can't put your finger on it, right? And then you don't know it, but it's because all of the symbology leading you to the killer of the Zodiac Killer is the inverse of his face.
There's a lot of there are there's actually a bar just over the road from where we're staying where people go and watch the Avengers while they're doing handstands. And you said to me today, you said that's I don't get it.
Now I do. It was all in the book.
New York is a crazy place and a friendly town.
It sure is. Everything you've heard. Sorry for burping on the microphone as well. That's disgusting.
They
isn't
didn't hear. You could have got away with it
I'm
if it wasn't for your meddling kid.
Dang it.
brain.
Okay, nice recovery. I tell you what, everything you hear about the stabbings and things, I haven't experienced it myself.
You haven't been stabbed.
Not today, Death. I haven't.
God, this thing is loaded with references to terrible movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. If you haven't heard Till Death Do Us Part, go Google that. Go get it in you. Jesus Christ. I can't wait to put this thing to bed, to be honest.
That's right. This is what it must be like to be a parent. And your kid's real hypo at like 8 o'clock, and you're like, can you please go to bed? I need some alone time before I go to sleep and get up to go to work in the morning.
Well, this is even better than that, because I feel like that is the feeling we get when the movie ends, right? We're like, okay, done for another week. What we're about to experience is the kid moving out, going to college. Maybe like getting out of the city that they're in right now.
Sex and the City 3, all grown up.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a crossover and a half. Imagine Brady the Rat King combining his like malevolent genius with Donna's creativity for making shoes with lights on them. Is that a something?
Donna could craft shoes out of rats and lights. Tim,
Guy.
let's end it. And then there's one more.
Okay.
If we call a ceasefire in this conversation,
Okay.
then it's just once more.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
smallest number of watches we could possibly have remaining.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's very impressive, very alluring. Yeah, I'm excited
You're
about that.
inside the stadium, about to cross the finish line.
It's very cool. The one silly Guy and Tim thing we haven't dug into a lot this time around, and congratulations to him for slipping under the radar, as is his wont, is Dickbot. So well done, buddy. What you've been trying to do this whole time is be unwatched by the human eye, and you fucking succeeded this week.
But we see you.
We know you're there.
We know you're listening.
We acknowledge you.
To everyone else, still some tickets available to the show at the Bell House this coming Thursday. I love date stamping podcasts. Thursday, the 3rd of March, 2016, the Bell House. Doors at 7, shows at 7:30. The final ever time this insanity will unfold before your eyes and ears. We would love to see you there.
The quickest way to get the link is to go to facebook.com/worst idea of all time, and it'll be pinned up the top. It's been a pleasure and an honor serving with you today, Guy.
Oh, it is never a good time, but always an honor.
Cool.
As the great Whitecliff Jean once said, I'll be gone till November.
It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all